The vision really just started one day after we were walking out of a soccer game with Elijah. He just got done playing, and we got in the car, and my wife just looked at me and she said, "Babe, you know what Elijah said on the field really captured my attention." And she's like, "I'm gonna pray about it before I tell you." And I'm like, okay. So for the rest of the day, I was just sitting at home and I'm like, what is it that you gotta tell me? What is it that you gotta tell me? And finally at night when we put the kids to sleep, she said, "Elijah said, Daddy's gift is being a coach." And for 32 years, I had struggled all my life just trying to figure out what I want to do with life. I tried college, it wasn't falling into place. And the day that she said those words to me, this peaceful spirit fell on my heart. And it was like God just saying yes. But it wasn't like a slow yes, it was like a loud yes, like, yes, this is it. And when she mentioned that to me, like something inside of me just sparked, because all my life I've been involved in kids' lives. I've done youth group, I've done young adults, kids ministry. But I always try to figure out something I could do that I can still be a missionary for God, but also do something that would change the world and be a resource to my family. And at that moment when I looked at her and I said, look, this might sound really crazy, but I think I want to start an academy. And she smiled at me at the moment. She said, yes. She just said, this is it. And mind you, before this, we were going back and forth for like 5 years trying to figure out different businesses. And I gave her ideas and ideas and ideas. She said, no, no, no. But at that moment, she smiled at me and she said, yes, this is it. And I couldn't believe it. It was like a clear yes, like I got on my knees and just said, hey. And I didn't even get a clear yes that day. But we took that, we started praying. We just asked God, hey, if this is from you, make it clear. From there on, we started small. We started with just a few practices on the field, just a few friends. And people at that point, it was just like, you ask God, hey, if this is from you, give me some yeses. And we didn't have to wait too long. It was, people were just coming up to me like, Kevin, why don't you coach? Kevin, why don't you coach here? Or Kevin, why don't you think about opening something? And no one at that moment knew that we were already praying about something that my son had brought up after a soccer game. So I knew the sign one was God telling my son, because Elijah has a special place in my heart. All of them do, but the moment he said that and she had to go home and pray about it, the night she waited for them to go to sleep, and how that started inside, I knew that ENIM was gonna be something. I didn't know how, I didn't know when, but we just said, okay, Lord, here you go, take the wheel. I don't know how to do this, but we trust in you. And that's how ENIM, that's how it was rooted. We went through so many names when this started. We sat hours on Google trying to figure out what we should call the company or what would it be one day. And one night, we were just laying in bed, just talking. And I said, babe, I want this to be not just about us, not just me. I want it to be a family thing. I want it to be something, a legacy, something that when people look at the name, it represents not just us, but God. And at that moment, I looked over and there was a picture that we had on our wall. And it's the order of all our kids and the order that they were born. There's Elijah, there was Noah, there's Isabella, and there's Mateo. And I said, ENIM. So we tried a lot of different programs with my son for soccer. After my wife passed away back in July 2024, a good friend of mine actually put my son in a program for 2 weeks. It's one of the best programs out here out west. And my son would come home every single day crying. He was like, Dad, the kids are rough, they're bullies, you know, they don't use the best words. And I'm like, but this is one of the best programs around for soccer. And he's like, I don't feel comfortable. And it felt really deep in my heart because kids are important. Their development is important. Developing them on the soccer field, but what's more important is also their heart. I've had a few rough seasons where I just want to say I'm done. There's been times where I lay in my bed at night and I just look at my 4 kids and I just see them, and I say I can't give up. There's days where we just get home and the house is not super clean, or there's times where work is not going, well, or there was times where the kids are all sick, and I just walk in my room after put them to sleep. I put my head down and I'll just cry in the pillow, and I just cry out to God and saying, Lord, like, I feel weak. I don't feel capable. I feel like I'm on my last straw. I don't think I could do this anymore. I feel like I've lost it all. And then he puts me to sleep. And then there's times where I just put my worship music and nothing's working. And I just go outside and I pick up a soccer ball and I start kicking it and kicking it and kicking it and kicking it. And at that moment, it's a reminder that he's like, come outside and play with me. Come outside and spend time with me. It doesn't have to just be a time where we have to be locked up in a room or locked up in a closet or locked up in a church. It's like, come outside and play with me. Sit down with me, dribble the ball, kick it around, pass the ball to yourself and play with me. And I have found it that it's a moment where I see myself sometimes when I kick the ball or do something, he speaks to me and he's downloading things into my heart. And not just for me to keep inside, but it's the things for these kids, for this young adults group, for everyone out there who needs that feels that way. And I share this with my kids all the time. I'm like, look, don't compare yourself to anyone else. Because if you begin to compare yourself, you're never gonna be your best. Do your best and don't look around. And I catch myself looking around at other people and other businesses or other, marriages or friends. And I'm like, I wish I had that, because I don't have that now. I gave you this responsibility for a reason. I chose you for this. I chose you for this because you're made for this. I made you to become who you are now. And yet it's not the end. This is just the beginning. And those are the moments where I get up and I say, you know what? We're gonna fight back. And we don't fight back physically, we fight back with our words. We fight back in the moments that we go outside and just say, Lord, take my heart, make it yours. Make this company yours. Make my kids for you. Because right now, this is just one me, but there's 4 of them. And the 4 of them is gonna multiply to 20 or 40, what each one of them is gonna touch. The vision is to open up a warehouse about 10,000 square feet where we can have an indoor place for kids to be able to come after school Sundays during the week, where we will have teachers there to help them, but not just that, but a place that they could pray, a place that they feel safe at, a place where the kids can be themselves and happy. We got to give them challenges as well. And it's also to challenge them in their daily lives. It's funny enough because my wife, before she passed away, she told me that God gave her a vision that we were going to be here in Cooper City and we were going to get a warehouse. And then in this warehouse, ministry was going to happen. And that a lot of kids who felt denied or unloved will be coming. And I see that vision in myself too. And my role is to live that vision out, but by putting God first. Having God in the center of this is the most important thing. And I'm allowing Him to guide us through this season to get to that vision. Listen, kids, I'm gonna tell you this because I think this is super important. I was adopted at a young age, and I didn't find out till I was 19 years old. My upbringing wasn't the best. My mom was a single mom. I felt unwanted. I felt like my life didn't have a purpose. Don't believe the lies. Those are the lies from the enemy. Give God the opportunity to work in your life. Don't allow people to tell you you're not good enough. Don't allow the grades to represent who you are. You have to fight back, but don't fight alone. You're worth it. I'm telling you right now, you are worth it. You're worth more than anything else. Your life has a purpose. You have to seek God. And you might ask, how do I seek God? Just ask, say, Lord, work in my heart right now. I don't feel okay. I don't feel like I'm good enough. And I'm telling you, He will change you. It might take 10 prayers, 20 prayers, but He will change you. He will change you in ways that you feel like a champion, because you are a champion. You know why you're a champion? Because you're a representation of something much greater. You're created by a creator. You're a piece of art. And within that piece of art, God works in your heart. So don't give up. Push. Get up. Look at yourself in the mirror like I had to many times and tell yourself, I'm going to fight. But I'm not going to physically fight, but I'm going to spiritually fight. Find yourself a Bible. If you can't, that's okay. Get on your knees and just pray. Or if you can't do that, pray in your bed at night and say, Lord, I don't know you. I want to get to know you. I hear this is a good thing, but I want to feel you. And allow Him to change you. Because I tell you, who I was as a 7-year-old, 8-year-old kid who had lost all hope in life has changed, not because of myself, it's because who God has built through the years. And He will put the right people in your life. That's the most important thing. Ask for God to put the right people in your life. And that's why I'm here. That's why ENIM is here. Because ENIM is bigger than soccer. ENIM is because we want to be here for you so you can find your purpose.